Good evening from my location. Good morning. Good afternoon from your various location of people of Biafra and the lovers of freedom. And to my president, Mazi Nnamdi Okukano, and also to my prime minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. I greet my deputy prime minister, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, the deputy prime minister of United States of Biafra, that are seeking for international recognition. I greet you from my location, and I greet all the lovers of freedom, and I greet those that are supporting us despite all our excesses and all our problems. They still stand on our side to greet the Biafrans, to support us in our mission. Those who made that Nigerian government could not bring Mazi Simon Ekpa down to Nigeria, I salute you. I greet you from my location. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depend on your time and your location. I greet you and I salute you all. Please, as you join me, may you like the program and share the program very fast so people may join us this late night. So we only want to be maximum 2 hours here. Only maximum 2 hours to achieve the aim and the goal that made us to be here this evening. That is why I want you, as you join me right now, please share, like, and comment. Invite one another person. As I already invited you, please endeavor to do that to me so people will come and join us and we move this message very fast. The message we are bringing might be quite different from all the message that you have been hearing from everywhere. But we are trying to bring you message that is exposition of the real truth of what we are facing through. That when you look at my title, you will see what I am here to present to you under the international law. Those that they give this international recognition, what they want us to do, and what things that has to be done. This is why I am here this night with you, to rub our minds together and bring the word that comes from them, not what I think or what you think. To put it on the template of what they want us to achieve and how we can achieve it. That is why we are here this night. Those things that you are hearing, sometimes when you heard about those things, you became scared. You become afraid of if this thing we are doing, is it getting to end, or is it even going to happen at all? You know, sometimes some people might ask you a question to make your mind to calm down and be deviated. Some people will come, they will play advocate to you, the certain advocate to you, then for you to fall. So from there, they will make laugh, they will make mockery of you, and from there, they will move forward. That is why we are bringing all this message, and sometimes tell you that when we start, please record it. Record these things that you are hearing here. So when such thing happens to you, you can easily understand it and throw it on every platform so people may know. That is why we ask you, when you come, please like and share. That is how you are making this particular message to go viral. Before I go further, I must recommend our first commentator today, Chinwendo. I greet you in a special way. You are the first person that on this page today. May Elohim bless you, and also anything you lay your hand that gives you money that you subscribe to be on this page, may that place never dry, and may enemy never quench it. May the light of what is giving you money continue to be there, so you can be able to join this program and spread this message. May it be well with you and everything that we are doing, in the name of Chukwu Okabiama. He said. So my people, please like and share so we can move fastly, speedily. Please like and share, like and share. You know how we do. Once the like gets up to 10, we bring out the documents of what we have. We want to look at it on the level of the international ways, countries, because the level where we are right now is only one thing that we are lacking. What is that? Before we're going to tell the world what we are lacking, we are going to tell them the one we have that we are not lacking. We want the world to know we already have our military well trained. We have our police well trained, and we have our road safety. We have our everything that comes to security apparatus. We have all of them. We have what? All of them. We have our territory. We have effective government that is at work. So we have a permanent population of the Biafran people. We have this criteria you ask us to make. So the only thing that we are lacking is what you will give to us. Two things that you will give to us. One is the international recognition. Number two, to give us equipment to defend our land. Immediately recognize us. These are only two things that we are lacking on United States of Biafra that was redeclared on November 29, 2024. This redeclared country called Biafra is only solution to end the impunity, to end the killing that is going on in Nigeria. We have been doing one thing from 1914 amalgamation leads to 1967 to 1970 Biafra started the war. From that time to time immemorial till today, we are doing only but one thing. What is one thing? Try to know if the so-called Nigeria will work. Remember, our president, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, was protesting how Nigeria is going to be a better country until the spirit of his ancestors captured him and told him, this is not where you was born. And this is not why we send you abroad. We send you abroad to go there to understand history, to come and save us from the perpetual bondage, the chain that white man called Frederick Lugard put on our neck. That is why we send you to go out. So you must carry this mantle. And the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our president, carried this mantle till today until he was kidnapped and he handed over to Mas Simon Ebanjoko. I want to know the root of what we are doing. So, if you are not born for this cause, you will do nothing. Rather, you become a sabo. But if you have been called for this cause or these shoes for this cause, nothing that anything we do that will stop you. Rather, you will one equation to any length. So, my people of Biafra, I am waiting for the like to increase. We are on 7. This is our 10 minutes. We have only 7 likes. So we are waiting for the like to increase up to 10. So we can bring out the documents of the international global community, how we can, when they tell that, oh, you need to get your land over 80%, over 50% before they recognize you, it's a pure lie. That is our own thinking. It doesn't work in that way at all. Because they know that after declaration of a new country, that your territory will be under dispute. There will be problem from the existing or the present country that you are existing from. Like we, the Biafran people, existing from Nigeria. They know that our border will be under dispute. They know that our border will have problems that need to be clarified. They all know that. That is why it's very important for you to know the level where we are. That's why I told that you must understand the level where we are. And you must understand the difference between declaration and the non-declaration. The one that the world works value so much. The difference between peaceful declaration of a new country and the undeclared country with armed struggle. That is why we had this evening. That's why I told you the program is not going to be long. You just want to go in very fast to touch its hand, then wait till tomorrow when we will come out fully to make it to belong. Because as it hot, it born. That is why we cannot wait to bring you this message that we make to understand the importance of our real declaration of United State of Biafra. It is very important. It is very important. So please, see the reason why we are here as something that is very important to you. If not important, I will not just close from work and come back and sit here. Despite how tired I am, I must do this to pass this message across for those who will come to play devil advocate in your platform, want to deceive, want to ask a question as if they know. And why, as they're asking you, narrating what they're asking, Father, they know nothing about the movement that we are into. It's not by claiming. It's not by what I think. It must be by fact and figure. That's why I told you, come here without the argument. Calm down, no insult. Let us drag it and see how everything is being going. And when you come, do not cite one person when you are coming here. Come with your free mind for us to educate ourselves, because I believe that you coming is for me to educate myself, also for you also to do what? To educate yourself also. These are the things that are very important. Without getting our territory, the world is going to give us recognition. Do you know why? They knew that after the declaration of independence, that the territory will be under dispute. You know, when they say there will be problem in that new territory, they are going to defend. That is why they say defend your territory under self-determination. So we will be doing all this, and the world will be watching us, how we are defending it, and how that when they finally grant us this Biafra, that nobody will come to us and take it away from us. Then, next tomorrow, they will start talking about, oh, the recognition. The recognition become the topic of the world. By that means, you are making those that give recognition a useless people also, that are not capable of handling their own country. That is why they give people that are not ready to handle a country. So, that is why I told you, everything is playing by our side. It's working not in our own way, the way we think. However, I will say this on my platform. It's no longer a time to think that way we are thinking, that way we are seeing some things. No, it's not longer that time. The time we are into, it is another different time altogether. A time that everything that we are seeking is in the hand of the international global community. For you to be on that stage, you must present yourself as someone who is what? Who really understand the level where you are. You must present yourself as an what? International person on your own. That is only why then the world will look at you and say, come, what is that problem? Also, all the political pressures, all the lobbyists and congressmen, all these are also why are going to get recognition. For us to have recognition, we don't have to get Biafra land, Biafra territory, even 30% or 50%. It's a pure lie. Nobody does that anywhere. It's not in the criteria of having a new country. What is the criteria? Is the first thing is our official declaration that made by our DPM of Ngozi Orabeze. And they have all the documents that has been used, has been declared. So that is number one thing that you all must know into your mind. Now, our declaration of Biafra is one of the most important things that happened to us, that we don't have to play with it. Despite those who are like the Red Finland people, who refuse the declaration of Finland, that is what we are seeing today. What do they call them? They call those black Finland rebel in the midst of the white Finland people. And after the declaration, they fought many wars. Finland fought internal conflict war, very bloody one. This plan I've seen today, I heard no about here. In the hands of Russia, they fought their own because Russia was sponsored. That was when Russia was doing naive. Russia was be able to sponsor the red against the white for them to continue colonizing them. These are facts and figures. That's why we are where we are today. So, for us to get this recognition we are looking for, there is something you and I has to be doing. There's something you have to also be doing. Everyone must have something to do for everything to work peacefully the way it's supposed to be. Please like as you come. Like and share is very important. Like. So once we have 8 people, once we get to 10 people, like I said, we are going to reach out what we have here because we're not going to stay long. We are not going to stay long. Just a short period of hour, then we'll leave. Then we'll prepare for tomorrow morning. Please like and share the program. I am waiting for you to get up to 10. Now we are 9. Remember one person. So you know that I'm counting it. For you to know that I am counting it very well. We are on 9 right now. So I want you to join us. If it's the first time of being coming,
confirm the information about international law.
If it's the first time coming, the only thing you have to do, you will see a 3 dot in front of you. Click on that 3 dot. It will open. You will see like and subscribe. And able to do that, please, if you may. If you may, please. We are on 9. We're waiting for more one person to join us. Who is this person who is going to move this mountain? This, if that one person that is missing. Please. You know, when people claim what they don't have idea about, and when they're saying because they want to deceive and want to make you to feel lesser and they feel important, that is why some people are doing what they are doing in front of you. You must, we Biafran people, must understand the criteria of stakehood that leads to the international recognition. It's not just a child's play. It is an existing protocol that the Biafran people under USB must follow through after the declaration of Biafra. So, my people, one more like. Let us go, one more like. If you never share, if you never like, please like and share, because this message is not for only Biafra, it's for all over the Africa. So what we are passing through is unacceptable. So my people of Biafra, one more like, we are waiting for you. So I want to, when I start playing this document, please, I beg of you, record it. Send it to every group you are, so they will know those that want to deceive you, want to make you to feel, to make mockery of you, to know that they are making mockery of themselves and they're deceiving themselves, and what they are doing is no-go area. Despite that they want to run with Biafra people's money, but we are not going to allow them. They will pay in due time. So we are looking for more one person. We can move on, but I think with 9 people we can go because there is no time to waste. Maybe they may join us later. Edwin, thank you so much for coming. This is my first time seeing you. You are welcome too. Listen.
Its claimed territory before it can achieve statehood or seek international recognition. There is no minimum percentage requirement. The relevant criteria are established by the Montevideo Convention on the Rights and Duties of States, 1933, which focuses on the concept of effective control. The criterion of a defined territory. The requirement for territory has two main components. 1. A defined territory. The entity must have a specific geographical area. Crucially, the borders do not have to be perfectly demarcated, undisputed, or fully controlled at all times. The existence of boundary disputes or ongoing conflict in parts of the territory does not invalidate the claim to statehood. 2. Effective control. Government. The government must be able to exercise effective authority over some portion of its defined territory and population, capable of maintaining public order and providing basic services. Key point. The requirement is about having a stable core, where the government can function and exert its power, not about military control over every square mile, or a specific percentage of the landmass. A state can exist even if parts of its territory are temporarily occupied, contested, or outside the central government's control, e.g., as was the case with Croatia and Bosnia during the Yugoslav wars, or modern-day Ukraine. Recognition is a political act. While meeting the legal criteria for statehood, including effective control over a stable territory, is necessary, international recognition remains a fundamentally political act. Countries decide whether to grant recognition, based on their own national interests, foreign policy goals, and assessment of the new state's stability and likelihood of survival, not simply by checking off a strict legal requirement like 50% territorial control. Would you like to explore a case study of a modern country that gained recognition despite facing significant, unresolved territorial conflicts at the time?
Please, my people, pay attention as you come in, because why I am doing this program this evening is there are things that our people are asking. And that's why I told you that I want Biafran people to give me work. Throw questions, send me questions and things that are bothering you after our declaration and what the government is doing. Keep on asking questions how we can get international recognition. Like this one, somebody asked this question somewhere and it enters my ear, so I have to present it to you. So that's why I told you, please record and share. So maybe that person who is asked this question may come across this platform and listen and know what he's doing to himself. Is serious people who claim that bridge declares Biafra. Are we doubting that we are not under bridge when we make a declaration of Biafra? And that was the plan of our Prime Minister, Ma Simon Ebanjoko. We formed bridge. We are with bridge. Not even first, the second time, when we go to Finland and make a declaration. After making a declaration of Biafra under bridge, it's like simple example. Forming a party name that was registered, have a card, and some things that this particular party is doing. Now, the party happened to win election. After winning election, being a governor, president, senator, are you going to go back to use the name of that party that was registered somewhere to start ruling a country. I hope you understand this little example I give to you. After you have won election under, let us use the so-called Nigeria that means death sentence to every indigenous person. Now, after you have made up of, after you have won election with name, party name PDP, party name APC, are you going to use that name to rule a state, or are you going to drop that name to go into a country name to start working with the country name? I hope you are following. So, Bridge is that party that we on it run all our campaign, like IPOB, One Nigeria. Is there any time that Mazin can told that IPOB will get a recognition? Or did Mazin can told you that a time will come when people will give mandates to declare Biafra as a country? Is it not what we have from Onyendu? Now, on that criteria, on that template, Obato Obie did what? Form what? Bridge as a organization, as a group of people. That Obato Obie is in charge of the Tongozi Orabeze, because Ana Graku 1 year neg. So the issue is this, or the question is this. After you have won election with a party name, are you going to throw that party away? Number one. Then, that party that makes you to win election in the first time, coming to the second time, are you going to throw them away? The answer is no. You will be going to manage them under the country that you have win election for, with the name of the country. Then the party name will be under. That's why I told that in this movement of Biafra, we have gathered all the documents that we needed from Masob, the primary. From Masob to IPOB. IPOB organization, that's the Bitremas was being totally out. Then Masabanepa from what? Autopilot. If autopilot is enough, why did he run into to register Bridge as an organization? Why? It's because you may ask yourself, why did Obato Obie did not stop in autopilot? Why did he move ahead to the so-called Bridge that people are using to lie today? So, then, if Mazda Khan on his own was a time he talked about people giving mandate for declaration and use that one to compare what Obato Obie did. Obato Obie achieved that mandate and do what? Because of his arrest, handed over to our COS to make what? To maintain that mandate of declaration that are the most important thing to life of Obato Obie when he's here with us, to declare Biafra as a country. That was all he started when he told us that. And he's going to fight Biafra only for 5 years. Oh, we don't even know that those who are in that bridge are angry that he wants to fight for 5 years. That Chiamaka Ajeni is very bitter that Simon wants to stop him from what he used to eat. If these 5 years reach, Biafra come. So for me, nothing for me anymore. That was the plan of Chiamaka Ajeni. That is why they're all sabotage. That's why you see all of them doing what they are doing today. Yes, we have to play it again before we can able to move square this evening. So pay attention as I am playing it. So you will hear documents again. You will hear what it takes and how you can get to a new country. That you don't need even 10%. It's not by percent. It's not. That is why this our official declaration is number one thing, that is one of the most good things that ever happened to us. So let us see something. Please 1 minute, I'm coming, because we have many here to list out, but we have been listing out gradually as the time is coming. After declaration, Mother West, somebody will now come and tell you, oh, you need to get Biafra land 50% or 30% before the international community come and give you recognition. Pure lie. Or they will say, oh, we use this group until they are ready. We will not change it. It's a pure lie. You must have a name being written down on the document that you are submitting. And from that name you give to them is what they are going to recognize you with. This is the pure truth that needed all of us to know. Listen.
No, a new country does not have a specific requirement to control 50% of its claimed territory before it can receive international recognition. International law, particularly as codified in the Montevideo Convention on the Rights and Duties of States 1933, sets out the traditional criteria for statehood. These criteria are: criteria for statehood. The most widely accepted legal criteria for an entity to be considered a state are: a permanent population, a settled community of people who reside in the territory. There is no minimum number specified. A defined territory, a specific geographical area. Crucially, perfectly delimited or undisputed borders are not required to meet this criterion. The existence of territorial disputes does not automatically preclude statehood. A government, a functioning political authority that exercises effective control over the territory and population and is capable of maintaining public order. Capacity to enter into relations with other states, the ability to engage in diplomatic relations, sign treaties, and exercise independence without being legally subject to the authority of another state. Territory and effective control. The key requirement related to land is that the government must be capable of exercising effective control over some part of the defined territory and its population. There is no minimum percentage, like 50%, of the claimed territory that must be controlled. A state can still meet the criteria even if it is involved in a territorial dispute or does not fully control every part of its claimed land, as long as it has a stable, defined territory under its effective governance. The role of recognition. It is important to understand the difference between statehood and recognition. Statehood, declarative theory. According to the dominant declaratory theory of international law, an entity becomes a state as soon as it meets the 4 criteria above, the Montevideo Convention criteria, and its existence is independent of recognition by other states. Recognition, constitutive theory, political act. Recognition is a political and diplomatic act by other existing states. While not legally required for statehood, recognition is vital in practice, as it grants legitimacy, allows for diplomatic relations, like opening embassies, and enables membership in international organizations, like the United Nations. The decision to recognize a new state is ultimately a political one, made by individual countries, often based on their own national interests and foreign policy, rather than a strict legal checklist. Would you like to know more about the difference between de facto and de jure recognition?
I hope you pay attention. I will play it one again. It's 2 sides. We are going to focus on this one that I'm going to play now to give our analysis. Please, like I said, you can record this voice. This is under the Montevideo Convention of the 1933. The things that the things that UN required on their articles for us to get international recognition. No getting land 10%, no even 20%, because it is out of politics, the interest of someone who wants to recognize you. And when they talk about countries in Africa, a country like Bangladesh did not get their land 10% before recognition under 1 year. Under good 1 year, they get what? Their international recognition. Now, a country like Pakistan did not get their own in 10% before they will be able to hand over the international recognition, because there is an existing protocols, there is existing criteria that has been there before any country that met their official declaration of their new country. And in this world, there was a time, even there was a time America was a new country. Go and check the history. 1970 something, America was declared their independence. That made France to back them up to exit British. Every country in this world, nobody fall from heaven. Nobody. There was a time all of them are a new country in this world that we are living. There is a time that Ghana is a new country. Is your father, your mother, your relative is a madman and a mad family. So my people, we must continue. We don't have time to waste. So in all that we are doing, there is a criteria that we all must follow. The criteria is very important. We will not jump all this protocol and form our own way to get this international recognition. We will stand on the existing protocol of the world and those that are giving this recognition. Listen, the recognition we are talking about is not that one that Ojukwu got in 1967 to 1970. If that one is enough, Biafra could have become a country by only that one alone. There is something they call the international recognition that supersedes every other recognition. Unless you want to stay on your own, you don't care. Unless you want to become a country like Somaliland, unless that is kind of a countries that when you don't care. And when somebody referred to why Somalia, and that's inside Somalia, you get Somaliland that are what? That's another country that even come out from Britain colonial time on their own. So these countries, what is happening to some of them is what happened to us as those that Britain back up Nigeria to stop us from our official international recognition. That is what British did to, even though UK is one, really to up to today, they maintain the criteria of their forefathers to block recognition from Somaliland or Somaliland. So no matter how I pronounce it, you understand what I'm saying. Somaliland. So when you look at all these countries that people are referring to right now, then have you ever asked yourself what stopped them from recognition? Then have you asked yourself why Ukraine and others are countries today and being recognized? This is the areas where you don't talk about. If you talk about how it did not favor them, then you also need to talk about what makes it for not to be able to favor them, like Biafra in 1967 to 1970. Why it did not favor us? And what happened? The same those that stopped us are still today stopping those countries that have never get recognition because they are coming out under them, and the country that them on their own has wished to those people to be under them. It's like when Nigeria when Britain want us to be under Nigeria and we said no, they start blocking this. Britain lobby everywhere for Nigeria. They quench all countries who want to recognize Biafra as a sovereign state in 1967 to 1970. This is exactly what is happening today to them. And somebody will come, refer to that, with you asking, what is stopping them? Because of they never get international recognition, and they have over become a country. A country Northern Cyprus is a country. They're on their own. There are many other countries like that. So when you are looking for the option to benefit or to switch what you are doing, look at the other side that are not for you. That will tell you, look at how it is. Because our people like when they go into something, they will pick the one that will favor them and stop the one that is not going to favor them. These are part of the things that we are experiencing right now in our movement. So, listen again. What I'm doing is not my word. Like I told you, I am only here to present all these, the criteria of the international law. Now that Biafra have been re-declared on November 29, 2024, we are only lacking two things. What are those two things? One, this international recognition. Two, for them to give us ammunition to defend our border and our territory. That is what we are lacking. They told you here that after a what? A redeclared new country like Biafra, that our territory, our border is going to be under dispute. Now, after you have had it, that being under dispute could not stop us from having recognition, they are still asking questions. Listen to this again.
No, a new country does not have a specific requirement to control 50% of its claimed territory before it can receive international recognition. International law, particularly as codified in the Montevideo Convention on the Rights and Duties of States 1933, sets out the traditional criteria for statehood. These criteria are: criteria for statehood. The most widely accepted legal criteria for an entity to be considered a state are: a permanent population, a settled community of people who reside in the territory. There is no minimum number specified. A defined territory, a specific geographical area. Crucially, perfectly delimited or undisputed borders are not required to meet this criterion. The existence of territorial disputes does not automatically preclude statehood. A government, a functioning political authority that exercises effective control over the territory and population and is capable of maintaining public order. Capacity to enter into relations with other states, the ability to engage in diplomatic relations, sign treaties, and exercise independence without being legally subject to the authority of another state. Territory and effective control. The key requirement related to land is that the government must be capable of exercising effective control over some part of the defined territory and its population. There is no minimum percentage, like 50%, of the claimed territory that must be controlled. A state can still meet the criteria even if it is involved in a territorial dispute or does not fully control every part of its claimed land, as long as it has a stable, defined territory under its effective governance. The role of recognition. It is important to understand the difference between statehood and recognition. Statehood, declarative theory. According to the dominant declaratory theory of international law, an entity becomes a state as soon as it meets the four criteria above, the Montevideo Convention criteria, and its existence is independent of recognition by other states. Recognition, constitutive theory, political act. Recognition is a political and diplomatic act by other existing states. While not legally required for statehood, recognition is vital in practice, as it grants legitimacy, allows for diplomatic relations, like opening embassies, and enables membership in international organizations, like the United Nations. The decision to recognize a new state is ultimately a political one, made by individual countries, often based on their own national interests and foreign policy, rather than a strict legal checklist. Would you like to know more about the difference between de facto and de jure recognition?
This is where the case is. This one is for tomorrow. That's why I told that we have a lot to dish out again, so we all can listen carefully. I hope when you come across of someone who will come and ask you, after this our declaration, we never get our land 30%. We don't have it 20%. And how do you think that people will come out, countries will recognize us? That is kind of the question they normally ask. And when you listen to them, they are asking because of where their interest lies, not because they want to know. Hope you are following. So now we are going to be playing it and be pausing, and we will continue in our exposition or to explain it to every layman understanding. I play the voice, I play these documents in a voice that every other human being may understand it. Because English is not my thing. I'm only managing to try to do this. So please, pardon me when English is not the way you want it. I am not here to speak good English. That is not why I'm here. Because this country where I am, nobody speaks English to me. They speak their own Arabic to me. It's left for me to try to understand it and move on with it. So, don't mind who will come to comment section to come and talk trash. If you have time to reply to them, reply. If you don't have time, just draw my attention. I will block them, delete their nonsense, they will disappear. So, you are getting it the way it is. That is why I slowed down this program so we all may got it right and understand it very well. Please, I want you to like the program and share. If you're first time coming, you will see a 3 dot in front of you. Click on that 3 dots. It will open. You will see like and share. Endeavor to do that, please. Because once you like, another person on your contact will know that we are live, and it's not removing any money from your account. Please endeavor to do that as we are moving.
No, a new country does not have a specific requirement to control 50% of its claimed territory before it can receive international recognition.
I hope you had it. I hope you are, the way I am hearing is the way you're hearing it. No, a new country does not have a specific requirement to control 50% of its claimed territory before it can receive international recognition. Now that Biafra is being declared as a country, what happens? Those who are looking at us, that no, you don't have even 1% of control of your border, and you want recognition. They said that they don't have specific amount, and it's not under most that you must protect connect all your borders 50% before you can be able to get what? International recognition. They said no, a new declared country does not have a specific requirement to control 50% of its claimed territory before it can receive international recognition. There is no way, and there is no other way around. We have only one way of doing this thing, and that is the way that you are seeing right now. The government of Biafra is handling the affairs of the Biafran people. There is things that they're under the international law. They want us to, that is the criteria they set for you. That is the existing protocol they have for us. So we are not going to jump those existing protocol and have our own way or manipulate them. No, we must abide by this law of the international global community that will draw attention of all the world powers and UN to give us recognition as their member. Do you think it's just a child's play? Do you think it can come very easy like that? No, the answer is it's not going to come very easily. We have work to do. That is why you need to stop your gossiping and messing around. I hope you are listening. No, a new country does not have specific requirement to control 50% of its claimed territory before it can receive international recognition. I hope you are hearing it. Let's continue.
International law, particularly as codified in the Montevideo Convention on the Rights and Duties of States 1933, sets out the traditional criteria for statehood. These...
Do you hear something here? International law, particularly as confined in the Montevideo Convention of the Right of the and Duties of the States 1933, sets out the traditional criteria for statehood. These are the criteria. So when you look at everything in between that is happening to us, it looked like they have already been keeping it there, waiting for us to come and grab it. Now that we have a government that can grab all this that you're hearing here, that is why you must contribute all dime you have for us to achieve this recognition and go back in our land. And nobody will control you or anybody will talk to you anyhow anymore. Now, you had this here from this Montevideo Convention, Geneva Convention, UN Charter, and Vienna Convention. All these are indicating on one central point. All these are working, but on what? What we can do, so we can be able to achieve our official declaration, our official recognition of United States of Biafra that was declared on November 29, 2024. We are waiting for 24th of this month for us to make it maximum 1 year of our declaration. And we are working on the template of the international globals. These are two that we all must know. So, let not deceive you. On the criteria of the Montevideo Convention of having a new state, there is nothing like 50%. Nothing like you must get like this before you get recognition. It's not true, my people. It's not true. The truth is what we are hearing here. So, it's the right of the people to do what? To make a declaration of the new country. Then, now that the government is working on the template of the international global community, then you will see that everything that we as the Biafran people are looking for is what they give to us. So we only have to make up all this. Then it will trigger what? Our international recognition. Now listen, the criteria for a stakehold. The criteria for what? For stakehold. How we can get it? This recognition. Or how we can possess our land, or how we can take over our new country called new country that was declared on November 29, 2024. Listen to these criteria of the stakehold, so you can see how it goes.
Criteria are: criteria for statehood. The most widely accepted legal criteria for an entity to be considered a state are: a permanent population.
We are taking it gradually. The most widely accepted legal criteria for an entity to be considered as a state are: to an entity to become what? A state. For United States of Biafra that was declared on November 29 to become a state. This is, you see, the only reason why we need all these things is that there is an existing protocol and the way of getting recognition of becoming a new country. Our own are not going to be different. We must pass all the routes that every other person has gone through and today they are where they are. Today, people are traveling to Bangladesh. People go to India. People go to Pakistan. People go to many areas. All these areas that people are traveling into, or people that are being into, there was a time they are all a new country. They met all these criteria. They follow the due process. You can see how Bangladesh was getting recognition from India, and India, as the one who grants Pakistan their independence, asked them to do what? To recognize Bangladesh as a country. And they put all this in a document, and today it has now become what? A history. It has now become a yardstick. It has now become a template that we have to follow. And we must follow it. Because they told that you must follow this. Remember to refresh your mind. No, a new country does not need to have specific requirement to control 50% of its claimed territory before it can receive international recognition. A new country, a new state. International law, particularly as confined in the Montevideo Convention of 1933, the protocol of a new country was endorsed precisely on 1933. This measure has been there. So, on this criteria that has been mentioned to us, on this mandate of this criteria, is what the Biafran government is working on. No other way. This is how we are doing everything to make sure that we met all these criteria of the international global community that they throw out. So, let us continue.
A settled community of people who reside in the territory. There is no minimum number specified. A defined.
Do you hear that? A permanent population of people is number one criteria for us to get what? International recognition. The most widely accepted legal criteria for an entity to be considered as a state are a permanent population, number one. I hope you are hearing. What? A permanent population that settled in that community of people who reside in that territory. Today, in Biafra land, in old Anambra, that's made up of 3 states, Omambla, Ikemba, and Dimegu, they all did what? They all did the election. It's also to prove that the government is effective, and also there is a permanent population of people who reside there. This is how all these things are playing out. And nobody can bring it out to us unless we tell it to do that. So, in this apparent population, in this defined territory, we have all achieved. That's why we have all do what? Achieve all this. That's why we told the world that we are only lacking for what? Recognition. That we end the killing of the indigenous people, and we also set every black race free in the world. That is why they are denying us more and more. But we must take it by force. So, my people, let's continue.
Defined territory. A specific geographical area.
Listen. When it's come to territory, we do not have it, we have. And they said here, oh, you must get this territory complete before you got the official international recognition that you are looking for. The answer is no. So, everything that we have to know is here. That's why when you come, invite another person to come and join us so they may be able to listen. That's why I told that the level where we are is no longer where we only that way we think about it. This is how a new country was declared. This is what we do to get recognition. No, there is existing protocol. Why did you jump it? And do you want Biafra government to jump the existing protocol? The answer is no. That is why we should allow them. No pressure. No tension high. So, everything that we are doing is the interest of what? Our own as a new nation. And those criteria that ask us to meet. So, please, my people, do not panic. No amount of threats, no amount of killing will make us to go back. Remember that people has been giving their life. Where is the country today? The life is been given because of Biafra. Please, you and I who is alive, let us do something that will check the world.
Area. Crucially, perfectly delimited or undisputed borders are not.
A defined territory, especially geographical area, perfectly developed. A perfect or undisputed borders are not required. When the territory is under dispute, when the border is under the hands of the oppressors, that the stakehold of getting recognition for a new country does not ask you to bring these things out. Now that they will tell you, okay, go now, fight, or to chase Nigeria military away and take over your land, that is when you are going to get this recognition. The answer here is no. that when it comes to the level of the stakehold, that it does not ask you to bring or to prove that there is no Nigerian military in our territory. It does not ask you to prove how you are defending Biafra. No. There is a criteria that are unwritten laws, that there is a due process that they are taken. So, in order to identify the territory of Biafra land, then they met the criteria. The existing of the territory dispute does not automatically stop the stakehold. A stakehold. Are you listening? The existing of territory dispute does not automatically blood out the stakehold. Because of now our territory is under dispute. Because of that, our territory is under hands of Nigeria. Because of that, those that have in their mind that they are going to recognize us as a new country, it's not going to stop them. Rather, it's going to be gingering them to do more to make sure that we secure our land. That is why when you see the chairman of NATO from Austria calling for Biafra to recognize, he told, recognize them, give them equipment to defend themselves and their borders. These are pure truth that we almost understand, because everything that people think that this is the way it is, it's not that way until you find solution to it. Until what happened? Until we all find solution. What is the solution? The solution is to stand on the mandate of our declaration by Dr. Ngozi Arabeze as the Deputy Prime Minister of United States of Biafra right now. That is what you have to do. Don't mind those things that you're hearing. Do not. A government, a functioning political authority that exercises effective control over the territory and the population and is capable of maintaining public orders. Do you see what they want us to do for us to get recognition? I hope you are seeing it here. And how do you think that the government will leave all this and do the other way around? That's why I told you that the way we reason when we're in IPOB is no longer the way we're going to reason right now. The way we reason when we're in the MASOB is not. The way when we're reasoning in autopilot, no, everything has changed. Now we must meet this criteria of the what? Of the international global community on the essence of that the Biafran people have effective government that are giving order. These are the things that is important. Controlling our border 80%, 30%, 20% is not a criteria of a stakehold. So now that controlling the border is not a primary thing for a state, what is those things that we need to do for the state to be able to seek this international recognition? Everything is what we are playing out to you, because people did not understand the difference between a declaration country and non-declared country. They are not working together. Because when you go down deep, they will say that a declaration of a new country supersedes every other thing under the country to be able to get attention of a president. Because of what? A full declaration of United States of Biafra. That is very important. So, under this effective control of territory, under here is where our government is standard, and they conduct election in Odu Anambra, that's concluded of Ikemba, Omambala, and Odimegu, to prove that the government is in control. That is why you see our people, they voted. They come out peacefully. They go in, they vote, and go back to their houses. That is how election is supposed to be. not by force, not by fighting at all times. The Biafra people must understand that anybody who come to you to deceive you with you get 40, 50%, 10%, that person is not well genuine. He's not being serious. He come to destroy, but shame will not allow him to go because the truth is what we are giving to him. I hope you are understand what we are doing this evening. I hope so. Then capacity to enter into relation with other states. Are you following? That is why we said that US, America, China, all these countries that are made up of Asia and Europe, we are telling you plan and plan that we have met all these existing criteria. So, the existing criteria that you asked us to meet, we have captured all of them. We have a permanent population under your Montevideo Convention of 1933. We have what? A permanent population of people. We have a defined territory that the Biafran proclaimed election on Old Anambra. So, this is also proof that the government is in control, because if they're not in control, nobody will listen and nobody will come and vote upon the number that are voted, upon no matter how imprint it is. I want all of us to know that the criteria for us to get recognition, nothing concern having our land even 1%. Because those that recognize us will give us equipment to go on and declare it as they stand and what is going on. But you don't know that. This is how it is. So, please, my people, the time we are into is no longer the time that we have time to gossip around, but rather we are here to let those that it may concern to understand that Biafra has been fully declared, and nobody will stop us unless we. Now we have said not to go back, only moving forward. That is why you can't. So, it is a high time that you know the capacity of what you have and what is going on. The capacity of the entity into relation with other states, the ability to engage in the diplomatic relations, sign treaties, and the exclusive independency without being. Without what? Without being a legal subject to the authority of another state. So, when you listen here very carefully, it's only when you have these 4 criteria. A permanent population, number 1. That is number 1 thing. Then, the divine territory of Biafra, of our own, that it is 40 states, or later going to be add more in future. So, we must know that in all these due criteria of the number 2 is the territory. That is why you have those that conducted election and election went peacefully. Nobody died that day. I hope you are paying attention here. Then there's still about the effective control that is going to engage in a diplomatic relationship. The diplomatic relationship is sometimes what we use our lobby and the congressmen to do. It doesn't start. It starts one day, they take another day to end. My people.
Required to meet this criterion. The existence of territorial disputes does not automatically preclude statehood. A government, a functioning political authority that exercises effective control over the territory and population and is capable of maintaining public order, capacity to enter into relations with other states, the ability to engage in diplomatic relations, sign treaties, and exercise independence without being legally subject to the authority of another state. Territory and effective control. The key requirement related to land is that the government must be capable of exercising effective control over some part of the defined territory and its population.
I hope you are hearing it. These are simple criteria to get what? The international recognition we are talking about. After declaration, there is a criteria. It's not what I think. It's not what you think. It is an existing protocol that has been there, waiting for you. Come and meet me. I am here. Like when you told somebody, I am going to so place. Come and meet me there. All these criteria has been waiting for us, and now we have made it officially. They are going to watch us, see how we implement all these the criteria. Territory and effective control. The key requirement related to land is that the government must be capable of exercising effective control over some parts of the divine territory and its population. They said over some. Now, let me tell you one thing. Conducting election in Old Anambra proved that the Anambra people are under effective control of United States of Biafra, and also to claim that we are the owner of the land. Do you understand it perfectly? So please like and share as you come. Please like and share. It's very important if you may do so. Whenever you come across the video, please like it and share it. It's very important. And because of this, that's why I told that we are not going to be long like every other day. Because we want the message to be easy for people to see the message, read it, and understand it with us. So, there is no minimum percentage. There is no minimum percentage like 50%, 20%, 30%, 10% of the claimed territory that must be controlled. Are you hearing it? I hope you are here with me. Let's continue.
There is no minimum percentage, like 50%, of the claimed territory that must be controlled. A state can still meet the criteria even if it is involved in a territorial dispute or does not fully control every part of its claimed land, as long as it has a stable, defined territory under its effective governance.
There is something that when we are playing this, when we are bringing all these documents out, you guys to pay attention to understand one thing. It is very simple something, as you can see it here. There is no minimum percentage like 50 or 20 or 30 or 10% of the claimed territory that must be controlled. A state can still meet the criteria even it is involved in a territory dispute or does not fully control even part of its claimed land, as long as it has a stable divine territory under its effective control. I hope you are hearing it here. There is no minimum percentage for recognition. There is not. That now they told you the key requirements. What are those key requirements? One is a permanent population that has even connected a vote of self-referendum that's worth over 550 million Biafrans. Today, in the election in Anambra, I told that it's an eyesore and open eyes to the world that despite being exiled, that we are in charge of our people in the homeland. These are the truths that they don't want us to try. So, territory and effective control is very important. It is very important. So, a state can still meet this criteria even if it is involved in the territory dispute, even though now that Nigeria government refused to leave our land. Nigeria refusing to leave our territory. is for our own recognition. Because of they are in our territory, is not going to stop recognition. That is what they told you here. Even if it is involved in a territory dispute or does not fully control every part of its claimed land, as long as it has a stable defense territory under its effective governance, a state. Now look at it here. Are they calling a group here? Are they calling any other names here? They have been hitting on what? A state, a state, a state is what they are hitting on. This is what they are doing, what? They are hitting on. To prove that a state will recognize a state. No group will lobby for a state to recognize a state. Rather, the state government in charge, the cabinet members in charge, because they said they must put everything together to prove that this is a government that is effective, that is controlling his territory, despite being in the land dispute with the current Nigeria that we are fighting to exit from, that we have already exit from them. So I hope that you are paying attention closely, and I hope you are sharing and liking the program as you come. Please endeavor to do that. When I see more people, it gives me more strength to go more. But when I'm seeing lesser, it gives my mind a little bit downfall. So please, join us on the like, on the share of this program this evening. So whenever you come across of those who want to use a recognition without a threat or they are possible, you will tell them it is a possible. What is not possible is the one the person is saying, not the one you are doing and the one you are saying. Chidibem, good evening from here. I can see you. A state can still meet the criteria even if it's involved in the territory dispute. Are we not now in territory dispute with Nigeria? Now that Nigeria refused to leave our territory after official declaration. Do you know that a declaration is a declaration is a notification to the entire world that these people has, under self-determination, declare an independence of a new country by declaration. So the declaration is a fundamental or a willing tool to seek international recognition. On the level of this particular recognition, there is one thing or numerous things that has to carry along. And none of them is not for us to start thinking too much or start proving something where there's nothing to prove. So, when you come across of them, you tell them that you don't need, there is no amount of percent of your territory that you will be able to get before you can get recognition. No, because nothing concerns recognition and defending territory. Nothing concerns defending territory and getting international recognition. They are not the same thing. Recognition is art of politics. Recognition is an art of diplomatic movement. This is how it comes, because those that are going to recognize you is a state. Bridge is not a state. Bridge is not a country. What is a country is United States of Biafra is a country. And a country that was well voted indoors. And we all, even me on the comment section, I voted for Biafra, which name that was endorsed? United States of what? Biafra. That is the name that was endorsed. I repeat it again. A name that was endorsed is not Bridgie. A name that we voted all in consign that Nigeria did not see consigns of any of us before the amalgamation. But on the issue of Biafra, my consign was sick because I voted online that particular day on the comment section that I love to answer. I love the name of my country to become what? United States of Biafra as a new country. That is what I voted. Yellow one living from here, I can see you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. And they told us what? That after our re-declaration of Biafra, that our border will be under dispute. That even though that it involved in the territory dispute, that is not going to stop recognition. No 50%, no 10%. Percent is not in the criteria of a stakehold, or percent is not in the criteria of getting international recognition. Nothing concerns protecting, getting border or protecting border on it, no. Because those that are going to recognize you knows there is a problem that made you to declare a new country. They also knew that after declaration, there will be a territory dispute problem with Nigeria, that Nigeria will refuse to leave us. Now, they refer us to Ukraine. Ukraine did not get all their border, their territory, before they become a country, before they get recognition. I hope you are following. You know, our people, when they come, they told, oh, look at Somalia, look at Somaliland. That's what happened to us in 1967 to 1970 is happening to them in the present UK right now, who blocked their international recognition. And you will come, you will talk about them. Now, can you go back and ask a question? Why, after their official declaration like us, they refuse to get recognition today? This is because I see I don't do things that favors me. I want to know that one that is not going to favor me, and I want to also know how it's going to be favored me also. I play side by side. I will not just go and choose the one that I will use to come and condemn what you are doing. No. I want everything that are into that particular thing to prove you wrong and you prove two of us wrong or right. There is one thing again that must come into your mind. What are you hearing here? A state, not a group. Let me tell you this thing. That is like the same thing I said before. Let me repeat it again for those who just join us right now. Whether you like it or not, the simple meaning of bridge is like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu registering IPOB. IPOB, is it a name of a country? That is the question you must answer. IPOB, is it a name of a country? A name of a country can never be registered as an organization. A name of a country can never be registered as a country. Bridge was registered as an organization. That's why I refer you to. Bridge is like just a party name, whether you like it or not. Forget the other side, that doesn't mean that you are getting meaning of it. That is all about Biafra government in exile. Now, remember that we are not answering only Biafra. Rather, we are answering United States of what? Biafra. So the bridge they put his senior or but just the way. Oh, okay, if you say it's not an organization, why did your so-called Ogenkere change the move over to OBS name there? Because it is only an organization that you can change things on it, but in a country you dare not. That is why those that do not understand the meaning of a new country and how a new country is going to be effective working until it now gain international recognition, they will tell that, oh, Biafra, USB was registered as an organization. Then he will not bend down to look down it to understand what it is there. Under the law, a country cannot be declared and at a time registered as an organization. It doesn't happen like that. It don't work at cha. It can never happen. No way. But you will register the offices that are there because of you are lacking one thing. What is that thing? The international recognition is on what you are lacking. That is why, because you are in someone's country. Even if we are in Biafra land right now that we lack some recognitions, we are going to go to some countries that are favored us, register some offices, so from there we can operate. Ask yourself, if bridge is enough, why did Obato Obie voted for United States of Biafra, and some those who are today calling it USB charger, they all voted? Go and verify the document. It's very good that if our DPM, we post out that those that voted the name United States of Biafra and the address of our Prime Minister, Ma Simon Eba. The same way Mazen Nandekani told all of us that a time will come when the people of Biafra in general, we give a mandate to form a government and also to declare Biafra. Do you understand it? So, in common way I want you to go home with today is what? There is no minimum percent. There is no minimum percent. Like 50, 20, 30, 10 of controlling our border before we can be able to get international recognition. No, is the answer. A state can still meet the criteria even if it is involved in a territory dispute or does not fully control every part of its claimed land. Do you know why they use that word claimed? Because of lack of the international recognition, not lack of to defend the land. That is why I refer you, go and check. Go and check common Bangladesh here. It took them 1 year. The question is, under that 1 year, or for them to get recognition from India and every other country, India was first country who recognized them. They now push Pakistan, who colonized them, who don't want them to go like Nigeria, to recognize them also. And other countries join and start giving recognition. Finland, on their own, when they are fighting with their own blood and brothers in cold-blood genocidal war in Finland that take out over 40,000 Finland citizens away, when they are fighting with themselves, that these red Finland people help Russia, like the way you see Ogenkere, you see IPOB, you see Chiamaka Ajara and RCC, or CPC, CRC, and you see Arandocho, you see versus Unite, and all of them, they are fighting against declaration. It's what red Finland people did. Go and read history of Finland very well. Then you will see that exactly what we are passing through today is what happened to Finland. The red was against declaration. Like Ogenkere was against declaration. Like Chiamaka Ajere. Like all these bamboos and monkeys who are monkeying around everywhere today that are representing one Nigeria. In the name they are fighting for freedom. This is how the Red Finland people, they call it Red Finland people. Look at this color of my shirt. They call them Red Finland people. The red refused the declaration of Finland, the red. Today, who are these red in the midst of us? They are those who will come and ask you, oh, you never, this Biafra, you claim you get to get recognition. You never declare, you never get say you are bothered even 10%, and you're looking for recognition. Then turn back and ask him, are they going to recognize you as a group as what? First. Turn back. Ask that person, under what are they going to give recognition? You that fall back. Allow him to finish, because when they come, they will present themselves as if they are neutral, or they understand what they want to ask you. They only come in to ask questions that will demoralize you, and they want to prove to you that you don't know what you are doing, that they are the one. In the conclusion of all their shenanigans of question, they will land and also identify who they are. Allow them first, because Satan always pretend in the first place. So in all that we are seeing on this document of the Montevideo Convention of 1933, nothing like that. Nothing like getting your territory 30%, 20% is a pure lie. In the criteria to become a state, a new country, this thing is not there. It's not. That's why I told that the way of the international is not our own way. The way we reason is not the way they reason when it's come to a new country being declared. Their way is quite different in our own way. That's why I told that a level where we are right now, reason of how we are is not going to help us. We must maintain the standard of them, because it's only lack of them in 1967 to 1970 that what makes Biafra a failed state. That is why today we must start from them and come back home. The last word of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu is two last words. Pharaoh, let my people go. Second, that Biafra will come from diaspora. That go and verify. Because Ojukwu was at home, declares it, and he fails. Is it not true? When Ojukwu was be able to protect the border for 3 years, and the only fall Africa gave him recognition, could you imagine? Now, in that being in the homeland to declare it, and he fails because of Britain was single-handedly blocked our recognition. Britain was lobbying for Nigeria. And today, the CPC has prevented Nigeria from lobbying any country that's a real nation in the world for recognition. That is why this particular country of concern is another willing tool for us to get our recognition very fast. So, as long as it has a stable defense territory under its effective governance, that is why we conduct our election, and that is why election hold on Old Anambra. That is why you see people today coming to get their ID card. That is why you see people donating. They all know that the massive number, the massive population of the Biafran people are with what? United States of Biafra. The same way the white people are with the white people of Finland stand with those that make the declaration as their government. When Germany and the Soviet Union come to end or to support, you know what happened? They went to those that made a declaration and answering a name Finland, not those who answered Red Finland. They went to those that make a declaration of a new state. Remember, that is what they call it here. They are calling it a new state. They went to those of the white Finland and support them, give them aid, and make them to chase away, and arrested over 14,000. Over 14,000 Red Finland was arrested. Many died in the prison before the president on the second tenure grant many of them amnesty. Where they put all of them in prison, they arranged Finland, make it a workable country before they all grant amnesty. That is where we are going, because as you can see, it's happening. You can see how it's happening. So when you see all these red Biafran people, that is not what we are doing. Don't mind them. They are not here. They're only here for their stomach infrastructure. How they want to use Biafra to build house, buy cars, live comfortable life. Why people are dying? They want to be living on the blood money. But when they see someone who will stop them from that, they become against that person. They become so aggressive. They become so jealous, evil and hatred full of their mind. We are not going to be the first, neither we are going to be the last. After us, another new country will emerge somewhere at when the time comes. Do they know that after Somalia, that another country will emerge from them? Do they know? Does anybody know that Soviet Union know that the British will move away from them? UK. Do they know? In times of becoming a country, UK become a new country in the eyes of them also, if you look at that scenario. Now, let us go in. The rule of recognition, listen. Let us hear the rule of recognition under the international law of Montevideo Convention 1933.
The role of recognition. It is important to understand the difference between statehood and recognition.
I hope you are hearing. It is important to understand the difference between statehood and recognition. There are two different things, but leads to one. There are two different things. Let us listen to this.
Statehood, declarative theory. According to the dominant declaratory theory of international law, an entity becomes a state as soon as it meets the four criteria above, the Montevideo Convention criteria, and its existence is independent of recognition by other states.
Do you hear that? Statehood, declaring the theory. According to the dominant declaration of international law, an entity becomes a state as soon as it met the four criteria and above. What are those criteria? A permanent population, number one. Defined territory, which is 40 states of United States of Biafra. Number three, effective government. Number four, that can be able to work and seek for what? Sign agreements. A state, you're not a state government, not a group government that can be able to sign agreement of relations with other foreign countries, not a group of people. Not fall back, not bridge, no. If we will use bridge to seek and get official recognition, why did Obato choose a date of declaration? Ask them that question. When they come with all their evil devil's advocates they want to play, ask them, if bridge is enough, why did Obato Obie choose a date for declaration of Biafra? Ask them. They will disappear from your platform. Because if you watch him or her, Obidotabancha, he will start eating soap from his mouth. Now, what are those criteria? I have mentioned it to you. They said here, an entity becomes a state as soon as it meets the 4 criteria above the Montevideo Convention criteria, and its existence is independent, recognized by other states. The existence of Biafra after our declaration is by who? By independent of recognition by other states. Other states. A state will recognize a state. A group recognize a group. That is where we are. So, if you're not a state, tell me. Okay, when they ask you, in what name, in which country are we recognizing you? Show us a document of your declaration of your country. They will not show the bridge. Are you not making mockery of yourself? If you can just tell yourself truth. Why does this criteria, the rule of recognition, is all about state to state? A state to a state. And here they told us that nothing like covering or defend 40% or 20 or 30. They said no. That is a different thing altogether. That a declaration proves that you are a state. A declaration proves what? That you are a state. Once you are answering the name of that state. That's why I told you that. It's like normal thing. Before you go to university, you will have 2 documents already. What are those documents? Your primary school documents, the secondary school. Even after you have graduated, you want to do masters. Are you going to throw the primary, throw the secondary school, and throw the university level and hold only on the masters? No, now. No, and all these documents we are presenting to the world simply means that we, the Biafran people, start from grassroots to get where we are right now. So that is why that every document they ask us, we can be able to present that document to the international global community for them to see how prepared and how far we have gone before we reach where we are right now. We must continue. Recognition. That is the next article we are going in.
Recognition, constitutive theory, political act. Recognition is a political and diplomatic act by other existing states. While not legally required for statehood, recognition is vital in practice, as it grants legitimacy, allows for diplomatic relations, like opening embassies, and enables membership in international organizations, like the United Nations. The decision to recognize a new state is ultimately a political one, made by individual countries, often based on their own national interests and foreign policy, rather than a strict legal checklist.
I hope you had it clearly. I hope you had it clearly from here. I hope. Recognition is a political and diplomatic act. You go 247. Ngozi Rabeze. How waiting Toshi. Toshi is a politician. Come and hear it here. Politics play a politics. Now it has become a political and diplomatic movement. Those that understand the movement of politics are the ones that are going to play it. Not someone like you has never voted for once in your life. Not someone like who have never even joined campaign politics team at all will come and be. So if they give you this for you to lead Biafran people, how are you going to lead us? One move. So we must continue. Why not legal required? Why not legal required for stakehold? It is not by legal. Recognition is vital in each participant as it grants legitimacy, allow for diplomatic relations like opening embassy. After your declaration of a new country, without this recognition, to prove the legitimacy of that you have opened that you have made a declaration of a new country, you have a right to open embassy under organization as organization. You have the right to open what? Embassy. I hope you heard it here. I'm not the one saying. These are the criteria from the Montevideo Convention 1933. Is trying to let us know how we can be able to get our official international recognition. I hope you have from when we start to where we are right now, it's getting clear to you that you must have a strong mind and believe in what the government of United States of Biafra is doing. You must, now is the time for you to, with all this, it's all about politics, it's all about diplomatic, it's all about sign agreements, it's all about sign relations with other countries. Existing country will organize us, not a group of people. Oh wait, and now listen. If you get bad, it's in see Abunyola, more Bunya Chip. Obviously, never can see Abuni. That is how it goes. That's not to punish so Ebun. Guinea-Bissau is right now United States of Biafra. Easy way of living from here. Zonava. Good evening from here, my brother and Dave. Thanks so much. So, when they are looking at what is not looking for them, when they think that they want to mess you up in your platform, they will start giving you analysis of countries. They cannot be able to tell you what stops them from getting the international recognition. And what stops those countries that they are asking is to get recognition. I am not going to play, but I'm going to brief you. What stops them is what stopped us in 1967, 1970. There is 2 against 1. Somalia is against Somaliland. Land is against it. Then Britain is the Oga master of Somalia. So they are the one block up to today. The old, which is when they call themselves Britain, to now they transfer themselves into UK. They see the one who block recognition of the other one. This is how it goes. And this is what blocked them. And they will tell you, oh, they have got their land 80%, but no recognition. Now, what stops them after if getting land 80% is a criteria for a stockhold, then nobody will stop them. Nothing will hold them now. If getting, for him that is saying that kind of a thing, now that the 2 countries he mentioned have what? Have covered their land over 80%, have their money, have their currency, have their police, have their army, but there is no recognition. That is where you may ask, what stopped them after all this to get the international recognition or to become a member of the UN. He will not tell you what stopped them, but he will tell that there are not recognition after all this. So how do you think that you will get it without having your land 20% or 30 or 50%? So when you are paying attention to things that we make you to understand where we are, then you move on and you understand it clearly. So my Biafran people, the people of the United States of Biafra, I am giving you a message for you to understand how it works. Nothing connects international recognition to defending your land or getting your border 50% or 10 or 20 or 5 or 1. No. Recognition come on his acts of politics that is coming on his own. They told us here that they are not the same. I hope you had it here. I will play it again. They are not what the same thing. The recognition comes on his own. Protecting border comes on his own. Then the only thing that recognition help is what? Recognition help to give you equipment to defend your land, your border from those that you are fighting to leave. Let me give you this word. That message from the NATO chairman from Austria is a pure message and it's very clear for those that they are asking questions of recognition. He said, America, recognize Biafra, give them equipment to defend themselves. That message sent a direct message to Ogenker and Chiamaka Ajere, those that went to interview that man. Because they want to make themselves relevant. See, making yourself relevant is not by notice me. No. Proving that you are working is not by presenting notice me in the eyes of people. People know the truth. If as you rush to meet that man, what of the congressmen that you told people that you are going to see with them, and the way you went to see the congressmen, because of they know that you are playing hanky-panky, that you are a betrayer to your people, that is why the congressmen run away from Ogenkere. And he told his gullibles that the congressman is too busy, that they are watching them on television. I will not forget that word in a hurry. That is to prove to you that the congressmen know that this man is only doing notice me, that he's using his people to make money. That's why they disappeared. They know that this is not the right person to come in this position. And even I want to know about this life. No one anything negotiate onwe. No, we na iti na agba ụzọ akwụkwọ. Iti na agba ụzọ akwụkwọ. Press efe akwụkwọ ya line na akwụrụ ọtọ. Onye anwa bụ iti. Akpọ ụzọ to blue class n'isi. Ndị ji ego adịghị eme noise. Ndị ji kọta adịghị ekwusi okwu ike. No mgbe ọ daa. If action speak louder than voice, what your government of United States of Biafra is doing. That is what the United States of Biafra is doing right now. Nkata na agboja adara ata alụ. Ọ nkata ha agboja bụ ihe na-ata ezigbo alụ. Tapụghị my God n'anya. That is why our DPM will tell them, before you go there, she's already there before you. The government is already there before you. Before you came. So, let's continue. Allow for diplomatic relations like opening embassy and enable membership in international organizations like the United Nations, The decision to recognize a new state is ultimately a political one, made by individual countries. Made by what? Now, individual what? Countries. These individual countries are going to recognize the new country, not a group of people, not fall back in anywhere, not bridge in anywhere. No. It is clearly here that this recognition comes from those that are existing country, that are going to recognize existing country. Why is it a country? Because there is a word called territorial integrity. Once you a country, partially without recognition, you are becoming in the line of this territorial integrity. That is why nobody will arrest all of you that make a declaration, because a declaration is a direct notification to every global, every international world that we are a sovereign state. Lack of international recognition. This is their law they give to us to listen, and this is their criteria. This is the template they are asking. Ngozi Arabez is not going to talk about the template. Tell me what more than this template that is very beautiful and nice, that leads us very fast what we are doing. And they never understand the difference of a country that was declared peacefully, that are not into armed struggle, and the one that used armed struggle to make a declaration. They did not understand it. Until they came to understand there is different ways of this organization. The one that make a declaration peacefully, like United States of Biafra, getting to 1 year of our declaration, there is no armed struggle. The world will see us as the most peaceful country in the world, despite being a new country that lacks international recognition. The world will see us as the one that are so peaceful. So they will quickly, the peaceful means of declaration without armed struggle is easy way of getting an international recognition in the global stage. This is how it plays out. So that when you are listening to gullibles that don't know the road, claiming they know, or Nyamagi or Doba, you will never come across of all these laws. Then you will be merging and the comparing countries, mention them of countries that you don't even know what stopped them from being a member of the UN. You don't know what stopped them from getting their international recognition. But maybe because of benefit of doubt, Biafran people, those on the comment section, I want to ask you, do you want me to bring a history of those countries that was being measured today on our brother Kelena asking a question there? Those countries that they mentioned, how and what stopped them from having recognition? I want to see in the comment section. Because now, because I be on here to narrate a story. Whatever you see me here, if it doesn't have evidence, I won't talk about it. And if the evidence is not with me, I'm not going to say it. So I'm asking questions. I want to see on the comment section. Do you want us to prove why this country called Somalia land is not, did not get recognition, and but their country? Do you want us to play it? If you want us to bring that history out, or to bring their history out, then we will. If I can only see 2 people in the comments who said yes or no, then we'll move on. But let us summarize on this aspect right now, because we are coming to the end of this particular first section of it. The only way I ask that question, as we are closing this session, they can also attach or play, only just to play why they did not get their own international recognition. What stops them? So when people are coming to do Champonic or do I too know, you put them where they belong. I don't know why I am not jamming such people in my platform who want to ask that kind of question. So we just calm down and discuss about it. Let's continue. Based on their own national interest and the foreign policy for a countries, rather than a strike legal checklist. Recognition is not a checklist. It is the right of the people and their interests of an existing countries to say, yes, I want to recognize them. I have interest on them. I want them to become a country. These are pure truths that call for an answer. And this is what it is. There is no other way around. A new country being declared. How they can get recognition is moreover the things that we're discussing this evening. My people. So, that's why I told you that when you come here, this is another different platform. If you happen to be playing like today, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu went to Supreme Court and people are hailing him, many platforms has been played it today. So why am I going to come and repeat the same thing that every other 1, 2, 3 has played? It's okay, it has gone viral. That is why some questions are being asked, because there is things that we needed more attention to do.
Would you like to know more about the difference between de facto and de jure recognition?
There is, now, if that person who asked this question is here, I would have asked him this question I'm asking here. Between the fact and the jure recognition, then you will know the declaration and the non-declaration country, their privilege and their benefits, and those that will quickly get international recognition. I want to play it again fully so you will listen. And that's why I said you can record these particular areas. You are into many WhatsApp groups. When you record such a thing, you can just send it out and people will listen. It will draw attention. And that's why when it's being played, I remain silent. So they will know that it's not a make-up story. That is existing history. This existing criteria. These are the protocols that has been there before us. And this protocol will not see us an end. There's one I want to understand what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is fighting for today. Nigerian government choose to use Sharia law to judge Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They want to use him to implement Sharia law in Nigeria. And he refused. Non-existing law of Nigeria can convince Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So they want to use Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to adopt a new Sharia law they will use to buy many people. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu refused on that. That is what is. That is just a simple thing that you must know in all that is going on right now. Because Sharia law it doesn't favor you. It's what favors those that want to buy you, those that want to kill you. They are the one that the law favored. That's why they're using it. Please like and share as you join us, please.
No, a new country does not have a specific requirement to control 50% of its claimed territory before it can receive international recognition. International law, particularly as codified in the Montevideo Convention on the Rights and Duties of States 1933, sets out the traditional criteria for statehood. These criteria
sets out a criteria for statehood. Sets out the traditional criteria for a statehood, for you to become a state. A statehood.
Criteria for statehood. The most widely accepted legal criteria for an entity to be considered a state are: a permanent population, a settled community of people who reside in the territory. There is no minimum number specified. A defined territory, a specific geographical area. Crucially, perfectly delimited or undisputed borders are not required to meet this criterion. The existence of territorial disputes does not automatically preclude statehood. A government, a functioning political authority that exercises effective control over the territory and population and is capable of maintaining public order. Capacity to enter into relations with other states, the ability to engage in diplomatic relations, sign treaties, and exercise independence without being legally subject to the authority of another state. Territory and effective control. The key requirement related to land is that the government must be capable of exercising effective control over some part of the defined territory and its population. There is no minimum percentage, like 50%, of the claimed territory that must be controlled. A state can still meet the criteria even if it is involved in a territorial dispute or does not fully control every part of its claimed land, as long as it has a stable, defined territory under its effective governance. The role of recognition. It is important to understand the difference between statehood and recognition. Statehood, declarative theory. According to the dominant declaratory theory of international law, an entity becomes a state as soon as it meets the four criteria above, the Montevideo Convention criteria, and its existence is independent of recognition by other states. Recognition, constitutive theory, political act. Recognition is a political and diplomatic act by other existing states. While not legally required for statehood, recognition is vital in practice, as it grants legitimacy, allows for diplomatic relations, like opening embassies, and enables membership in international organizations, like the United Nations. The decision to recognize a new state is ultimately a political one, made by individual countries, often based on their own national interests and foreign policy, rather than a strict legal checklist. Would you like to know more about the difference between de facto and de jure recognition?
My people, I hope it's being played out clearly to you. This is when you know that your government is not playing. That the government of the United States of Biafra is doing absolutely 100% right on a way or on the criteria or on the template of the international global community that want us to meet for us to have what? A new country. This is what is holding us, and this is where we have to go. Everything that we are doing is what's just in between. This is where the problem is, and this is what we need to show the world, that we have met those criteria, hitting on it every blessed day on our different platforms. That is how you mount political pressure, because you don't know who will come across your platform, and once he be hearing and continues hearing it, they will start rethinking, they will start checking things and asking why they said I have met all these criteria. Okay, let us find out. And also be mentioning the name of United States of Biafra government and our Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Arabeze. The key to Biafra. Because before any of you that Obato Obie, you must pass office of the COS, Ngozi Arabeze. Is it not true? What has changed? Because of your greediness and because of you have turned to become the red Finland people overnight. I don't know. I ask questions, but nobody answers. Means that nobody is here anymore. Maybe people have disappeared. Because there is the kind of things I would like to hear. But those ones that are going to use to demoralize you, you may not like to hear it. So, it is very important that we continue doing what is mounting pressure on the global community. It is very important. And also, our line is open in case if anyone have chance to call. You can call our number +97360513337. Also, I want also to play this that we are going to analyze tomorrow, because there is a program we're supposed to conclude this evening, but all are inclusive. Before we started to throw this one out today because of what is going on. So every hope will be where it is. Hope in your government. What is holding the government is only Eje and Ejema, nothing more than that. That is holding the government of United States of Biafra in action. Money, ego, okpogo, oil from HG, nothing more than that. Then you could have said everything would be working perfectly.
The difference between an entity that simply behaves independently and one that issues an official declaration of independence with a document is primarily about formal claim, political signaling, and legitimacy on the international stage. While neither option guarantees success, statehood ultimately depends on meeting legal criteria and securing recognition. The formal declaration carries much more weight. Here is a breakdown of the differences.
A formal
The official
declaration
declaration
carries much weight. A formal declaration carries heavily weight. I hope you're hearing it.
document. A formal written declaration of independence is a public, deliberate, and definitive political act that has several key effects. 1. International communication, the call to action, clear statement. It formally announces to the world, the mother country, neighboring states, and international organizations that the entity considers itself a sovereign state. Plea for recognition. It is an explicit request for diplomatic recognition and, often, a plea for military or economic aid, as the U.S. Declaration of 1776 was a call for a French alliance. Defining the new state, it often establishes the name, borders, and fundamental principles, like democracy or human rights, of the new nation, providing a basis for a new constitutional order. 2. Legitimacy and mobilization, internal cohesion. Unifying symbol. The document serves as a powerful symbol to unify the population, rally support for the cause, and justify the separation to the citizens. Shift in legal status, internal. For the leaders and people making the declaration, it officially dissolves all legal and political ties to the former ruling power, shifting them from subjects to citizens of a new republic. Authority of government. It is issued by a representative body, like a Congress or provisional government, which is a key demonstration that the new entity has a functioning government capable of acting on behalf of the population. 3. The legal claim, establishing the foundation. While a declaration itself is not a source of international law, it is a formal expression of the will to secede and claim statehood. When coupled with effective control, the de facto reality, it strengthens the de jure claim to be an independent state under international law. No formal declaration, the de facto situation. An entity that is acting independently, but has made no formal declaration, is essentially relying on a de facto, in fact, state of affairs. 1. Ambiguity and political risk. Lack of clarity. The entity's final goal can be ambiguous. Is it seeking full independence, more autonomy, or merely a better arrangement with the former ruling state? This makes it difficult for other countries to know how to respond. Easier to dismiss. The former ruling state can more easily dismiss the situation as an internal rebellion, unrest, or mere civil strife, rather than an attempt to create a new sovereign nation. 2. Impaired international relations. No formal standing. Without a clear declaration, the entity has little basis to approach other nations to ask for recognition, sign treaties, or establish embassies. Difficult to trade. It is harder to conduct official international trade or secure international loans, as the legal authority of its government to enter into contracts is questionable. 3. Internal disunity. Without a foundational document, the popular movement may lack the shared ideology or rallying point needed for sustained, unified resistance against the former power. Summary of the difference. Feature. Entity, with an official declaration. Entity, with no formal declaration. Legal/political act. Formal, definitive, and public claim to sovereignty. Ambiguous reliance on the de facto situation, current reality. International status. Explicitly requesting recognition from the global community. Has little basis for formal recognition or diplomatic engagement. Justification. Outlines reasons for secession, grievances, providing legitimacy. Actions must speak for themselves, no clear unified statement. Symbolism. Provides a powerful founding document and unifying symbol for citizens. Lacks a single powerful symbol to rally the population. A formal declaration of independence transforms an internal insurrection into a claim to international statehood.
I will play it again, my people. Listen carefully. This is where the case it is.
The difference between an entity that simply behaves independently and one that issues an official declaration of independence with a document is primarily about formal claim, political signaling and legitimacy on the international stage. While neither option guarantees success, statehood ultimately depends on meeting legal criteria and securing recognition. The formal declaration carries much more weight. Here is a breakdown of the differences. The official declaration, the document. A formal written declaration of independence is a public, deliberate, and definitive political act that has several key effects. 1. International communication, the call to action, clear statement. It formally announces to the world, the mother country, neighboring states, and international organizations that the entity considers itself a sovereign state. Plea for recognition. It is an explicit request for diplomatic recognition and, often, a plea for military or economic aid, as the U.S. Declaration of 1776 was a call for a French alliance. Defining the new state, it often establishes the name, borders, and fundamental principles, like democracy or human rights, of the new nation, providing a basis for a new constitutional order. 2. Legitimacy and mobilization, internal cohesion. Unifying symbol. The document serves as a powerful symbol to unify the population, rally support for the cause, and justify the separation to the citizens. Shift in legal status, internal. For the leaders and people making the declaration, it officially dissolves all legal and political ties to the former ruling power, shifting them from subjects to citizens of a new republic. Authority of government. It is issued by a representative body, like a Congress or provisional government, which is a key demonstration that the new entity has a functioning government capable of acting on behalf of the population. 3. The legal claim, establishing the foundation. While a declaration itself is not a source of international law, it is a formal expression of the will to secede and claim statehood. When coupled with effective control, the de facto reality, it strengthens the de jure claim to be an independent state under international law. No formal declaration, the de facto situation. An entity that is acting independently, but has made no formal declaration, is essentially relying on a de facto, in fact, state of affairs. 1. Ambiguity and political risk. Lack of clarity. The entity's final goal can be ambiguous. Is it seeking full independence, more autonomy, or merely a better arrangement with the former ruling state? This makes it difficult for other countries to know how to respond. Easier to dismiss. The former ruling state can more easily dismiss the situation as an internal rebellion, unrest, or mere civil strife, rather than an attempt to create a new sovereign nation. 2. Impaired international relations. No formal standing. Without a clear declaration, the entity has little basis to approach other nations to ask for recognition, sign treaties, or establish embassies. Difficult to trade. It is harder to conduct official international trade or secure international loans, as the legal authority of its government to enter into contracts is questionable. 3. Internal disunity. Without a foundational document, the popular movement may lack the shared ideology or rallying point needed for sustained, unified resistance against the former power. Summary of the difference. Feature. Entity, with an official declaration. Entity, with no formal declaration. Legal/political act. Formal, definitive, and public claim to sovereignty. Ambiguous reliance on the de facto situation, current reality. International status. Explicitly requesting recognition from the global community. Has little basis for formal recognition or diplomatic engagement. Justification. Outlines reasons for secession, grievances, providing legitimacy. Actions must speak for themselves. No clear unified statement. Symbolism. Provides a powerful founding document and unifying symbol for citizens. Lacks a single powerful symbol to rally the population. A formal declaration of independence transforms an internal insurrection into a claim to international statehood.
Yes, my people, this program is going, like I said, not to last more than 2 hours, but have gone to 2 hours Sunday. So we are going to end it up here until tomorrow we'll come back to do justice to this particular document, to analyze everything to every layman understanding in our common English that we are using here, to make it to look or make it to understand, to have people to understand where we are, and things are going to help us to get to the international global community. It is very important for us to know what is holding us and what will give us what we want. That is why we are here. So do not panic. Whenever you come across some questions that are being thrown to you, or come out from some of our brothers' platform, all of them has an answer in a way that the international global community are going to know that we understand what we are doing. Your government of the United States of Biafra is doing a very marvelous, wonderful job to get us our official international recognition. So I want to thank you for being here for this hour. So from me, from here, have a wonderful day, have a wonderful night. Whenever you come across this program, please like and share the program so other people may know that we are live today and we discuss on these matters arising of the recognition without securing borders. That is not true. That is not the criteria of a statehood. Thank you so much. One love, my people.